Dan, so my
So
question
there,
is for you, Reese, and this question is coming out of left field. So I did my homework like I usually do. If you guys can kind of tell the people who Alfred Can is, my apologies if I said his name wrong, and how he's related to, not related to, maybe affiliated with ECOMI/VeVe.
Yep, absolutely. So both basically Al and David have known each other for a very long time. And for those of you who didn't catch it early on, that Alfred Khan, it's quite an interesting story, actually. I love the way he tells it. I'll never do it as well as he does it. But basically, when he was working for Nintendo, he was doing a lot of work over in Japan. And when he was there on one of his trips, he found this product in the shelves, and it was called Pocket Monster. And he absolutely loves the concept of it, and basically went to the owners and said, hey, I want to license this worldwide. And at the time, they were sort of like, well, we don't really think, communities outside Japan will really understand the game, et cetera, et cetera. But Al said, look, don't worry, just let me, let me do it. And anyway, so he took the product, Pocket Monster, back to the US. And because it was a kid's product, obviously it couldn't keep the name Pocket Monster. So he decided to rebrand it to Pokémon, which is obviously, something that I would say 99% of people around the world know. Even to the point, he named all the characters, he commissioned the theme song, all the cartoons. And one of the other really interesting stories that he was telling me was that, when I grew up, and I think it's still the same today, there are kids' cartoons on very early in the morning, like, from 6 a.m. However, prior to Al, launching Pokemon, there were basically, he couldn't afford any slots, for TV. So, and the only slot that was available was like 6 a.m. And then, after a month or so of running these shows, he was getting calls from the broadcasting companies saying, Al, we can't believe it, but there are record numbers of children, watching TV at 6 a.m. So as a quick side note, Al was also responsible for kicking off this early morning, children TV watching phenomena that's kind of happened around the world. So after he created Pokemon, he was obviously looking for distributors around the world. And one of the very first people to distribute Pokemon cards was David Yu, the co-founder and CEO of VeVe. And it was through that meeting that David and Al obviously met and became good friends. And then from there, obviously, they just sort of stayed in touch right throughout their career. And then I believe David was at the Hong Kong Toy Show about 5 years ago, and he just randomly bumped into Al when he was there. They're both in the same game, so they were at the same event. And Al was just asking Dave what he was up to, and he was telling him a little bit about VeVe. And Al, Al, who's always been a very forward thinker. He's created so many brands and has had such a vision of toys and products that he immediately recognized that there could be big potential in this concept as long as we could pull it off. So that and then from there on out, Al came on board, and the rest is history, really.
So my next question being to the team, I guess, Reese and Dan. I've asked Jeremy this question before when we had him on as well, because he's huge in the collecting space and whatnot. What was more so one of the kind of the challenges that you and your team faced throughout your journey with, your journey up to date with ECOMI? Because I feel like this space is very, very new. Nobody kind of understands it 100%. It's changing every day. So what was kind of one of your challenges that you faced, throughout the story, your journey rather?
Well, I guess I'll just jump in there and say that it's basically been one giant challenge. All of the challenges lumped together to one giant challenge. And yeah, I mean, it definitely hasn't been easy. I was watching a video of an entrepreneur the other day, and I thought he summed it up perfectly, which was that if you're an entrepreneur, you basically wake up and get punched in the face every day. And really that has been the majority of the journey. However, I think that really is just something that is prevalent in any fast-growing, new business, especially one like VeVe that is quite disruptive. But in terms of an individual challenge, I guess it would be probably the community. Only in the beginning that, obviously it took us quite a few years to produce the product, and during that time, the company really had very little money. We did do a small raise back, like 4 years ago or something. And so during that time, we basically just had to be absolutely heads down, building the product, dealing with licensors, getting all of the legal framework set up. And because we knew that if we could get the product out, then we would potentially have some success. So during that time, dear Reese put up with so much. What's the word I should use, Reese?
Yeah, I don't know if profanity is the right. If this is the right setting.
Yeah. So, however, during that time, we were obviously getting a lot of pressure from the community at that point, and that's of course absolutely understandable. We had raised some funds, and we were heads down building something out, but we knew that what we were building was, something that had potential, and so we were basically guns blazing to get it out. But yeah, outside that, I mean, to be honest, if you want to talk about challenges, I could literally go on for the next 3 hours. So I'll probably leave it there.
Dan, it's Jeremy. I was gonna say you're lucky you just got punched in the face. I mean,
well, I'm keeping it PG for the audience. Trust me, I get hit everywhere.
That's great. Yeah, I might just add to that. The early days of the community itself wasn't challenging, but keeping everybody interested was certainly challenging, because we really were building VeVe for 2 years before even I saw the first iteration of the app, let alone everybody else. And I specifically remember, the day that we removed the invite code for the earliest adopters. There was a bit of an invite code process. And at that point, the community had seen photos or a few screenshots of the app and that kind of thing, but the vast majority of people genuinely couldn't believe we had actually delivered the app when it came out, and so credit to everybody who stuck with us on that journey as well. A lot of the early GoChain supporters came across and found us that way. And at the time, we probably had 1,500 people, maybe 2,000 people in our Telegram. And maybe I spoke to 100 of those people every week, and the same people and the same updates and the same kind of thing. But that really gave us time to establish the messaging of NFTs or of collectibles, or how we wanted to go down that path. And as you guys know, we specifically went with digital collectibles as opposed to NFT, because nobody had any idea what we were talking about. So for the first few years, I mean, that in itself was quite challenging.
I mean, I still don't understand it, Reese. I still don't understand it. No,
don't
I'm
listen.
just kidding.
Don't listen to
I'm just playing around.